And welcome back to Live in the Hall at the GMA Annual Convention. One of the things we want to talk about, I think Aileen talked to the IT in a box people earlier. They're not people in a box, they're box people, no. It's a new service that GMA has done a pilot program with, is IT in a box. Lou Comer, will you tell us a little bit about the program and how it works?
Yeah, sure. IT in a box, like it sounds, there are some IT services that we have customized to help our cities with some basic IT needs that they have. And we find that a lot of our cities, especially our smaller to medium-sized cities, just haven't had the budget to have a professional IT person to help them with, getting a website up and backing up their data and making sure all their email works properly and all the products that you use from Microsoft function as they should, and having some kind of a disaster recovery plan for your city.
Right.
So we've worked with a vendor that GMA is very familiar with because we've used this vendor ourselves. Name of the vendor is Sophisity, and they've been dealing with cities and state leagues now for about 10 years, so we feel pretty good about them.
Right, they have a good reputation with we know them and we've worked with them, so I think that's key to all the services.
Yes.
that GMA offers, is that trust and faith in the vendors that we work with.
Yeah, correct. And a lot of times when we offer our services, we do a pilot. Mm-hmm. And in this case, we picked 3 cities to be pilot cities. The city of Oxford, the city of Oakwood here, and the city of Flowery Branch. And we had different kind of outcomes with each one, but they were all very positive. And I'm not going to steal their thunder. I'll let them talk about what the service has meant to them. But in some cases, it's saving money, getting things that are more technical in nature dealt with by someone who has a technical background, or could be just as easy as somebody who, as Stan told us when we were interviewing him, they show up when they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Which you would think that would be something you would expect of people.
That would be a minimum, right?
Exactly, exactly.
It's Stan Brown, your city manager in Oakwood. Tell us how the pilot went for you, the project.
Well, for us, the pilot has gone very well. Sophisity, we had an experience with them previously in that they were hosting our website, and they basically developed our website for us, and we've been had that partnership with them for about 3 or 4 years. But we were in a situation where our police department was using one consultant. At City Hall, we had another one. And we were just at a point that we were ready to try to bring everything under one umbrella and to have one level of service for everyone. So for us, we had some real good outcomes. One of the things we found out initially is that although I thought I had backup on all of our data, we found that when they did the diagnostics on it, that we had not had an effective backup since September of 2010.
Well, that's not good.
And that's not a good thing, but I sleep a lot better now tonight knowing that we not only have a backup there at City Hall, but we also have it out on the cloud as well.
Right.
So it's been really good for us. We've been a growing community. We had kind of outgrown the local consultants we were using, and just been really pleased with their responsiveness. As my police chief told me yesterday, said the thing he likes is when you call them, they actually call you back, and they do what they need to do to fix the problem.
It gets done.
And they basically run it to ground, and I can't ask for better than that. We're very pleased.
Mike Miller, you are the mayor of Flowery Branch. What's been the experience that you guys had?
On the recommendation of Oakwood and GMA, with their previous experience with Sophisity, we've been in almost 2 months now with them. We were at a different point technology-wise than Oakwood was. We were more antiquated. We had kind of piecemealed through the years, as she mentioned the budget problems. It was just enough to get by.
Right.
And now with the new open records laws and those type things, you need backup.
Yeah.
So with this, our IT department, we actually have one now, Sophisity. We're projecting next year a minimum of $11,000 savings with Sophisity.
Great.
So the initial shock of the council when the city manager came to us with, this is going to cost this much, but then now he's coming back 2 months later saying, but we're going to save $11,000. So it really makes sense to us. It gets us into a technology age that we're comfortable with. Much like Stan said, you can sleep at night knowing you've got that backup off-site.
You don't have to have these. You don't have to hire people at your city hall to do this. You have them to do it for you.
Exactly, and you got one company doing it. That was the thing. We had 3 and 4 vendors coming in duplicating services or crossing paths. Now you got one guy to call that handles it all.
And I take it it's probably, far more, the name is sophisticated. I'm sure it's more sophisticated computer treatment than mine, which would be kicking the computer. And if that didn't work, then all hope is lost. What kinds of services do they provide for you as far as, the technology? I mean, obviously the backing up, making sure your documents are backing up.
Right. I know for us here at Oakwood, it's not only the backup of the data, but also helping us manage the data. We're going to be shifting everything out into the cloud, which means it'll be accessible from anywhere. And especially when you come to conferences like this. I was out in Phoenix, Arizona last week, but I didn't miss a beat. I was able to stay on top of things that were going on by checking my email, actually checking my files back at work, and being able to continue to do the job. So they've done that. We've also set up email addresses for our city council, as the mayor was mentioning with open records laws. We want to make sure that all of our communications are within our city network and not out on private email addresses.
That's a great point.
And, so that's another good thing. But I think really the telecommuting capability, the data sharing, putting everything out to where we know it's going to be protected, it's safe. To me, that's just a big comfort.
And having the folks that you can trust doing it too.
Absolutely.
One of the things that we're happy with is the fact that it gets all of our software up to date, latest version, on all the computers in the city.
Right.
So I had I think I was running Office 95 or something on my computer, but our city manager had Office 2000. So when you're trying to email a document, it won't open.
Right.
So just having everybody on the same version, that's been a real pleasure for us. We don't have to worry about it. It automatically updates.
Lou, what's the next step?
Well, the next step is we're going to finish the pilot, which officially finishes June the 30th, but I think we've heard from all three of our cities that they're very happy. And Oxford's a little different than these two cities because they were already using Sophisticity for some of these data backup and other kind of things, so they've just added a couple more levels, and they're going to actually be getting a new website, which is exciting for them. And their city clerk is going to be going to something called SharePoint, which will allow her to have a records retention policy, which is something that they're ready to move to that next level on. So once we get to June 30th and we declare victory, which I don't see any problem with doing that, we will then start offering this service to all of our GMA members. And we have several cities that have already expressed an interest, but we told them until we got through with the pilot we really weren't going to offer the service.
And I know there's been some smaller cities that their websites were somebody who worked for the city or a city official who volunteered to put that up, and it may not get updated on a frequent basis, or that person may be gone and that website is just sitting there. So having a service like this would help those cities as well to keep current and keep their information that's out there up to date.
And Amy, one thing that Sophisticity does, they provide the infrastructure for you to put your website on, but they also post your content for you. They don't create it for you, but when you send them some content, they'll put it up on your site for you. Your city employees can use their tool to do it themselves.
Right.
However, we find that with budget stretched and people's time stretched, this is going to make, I think, a real difference in getting websites, keep them updated and fresh.
And that's so important, because I always tell city officials, if you have a website but you're not updating the content, what you have is an online brochure, and once people go, they're not going to come back. You've got to keep adding content, and to have some, and I think that might be an obstacle, is not knowing how to do it or having somebody on staff who can do it, because things may be a little busy at city halls these days, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And Amy, one of the things that's been good for us with our website is that we worked with Sophisticity on creating the structure and basically how we manage the content, but we have a PR firm that does a lot of our logo, our newsletters, our annual reports. And so the creative piece of it, we were able to integrate in with Sophisticity, and it worked very well. So I just want to emphasize that there's a lot of flexibility on how you do that. You don't have to take just the canned website, but you can basically adapt it to your particular
and
community,
make it your own.
Because Tybee Island looks different than Oakwood, looks different than Oxford.
I'm thinking there's not as much sand in Oakwood. I'm thinking there's not as much sand in Oakwood. I'm thinking there's not as much sand in Oakwood. I'm thinking there's not as much sand in Oakwood. About this system, they should call you at some point in the future?
Yes, just give me a call, or you can call Pam Helton. Either one of us can help you with this.
Or go to the GMA website and find out more. Great. Well, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.